What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one I'm going to be giving my post-game reaction and key takeaways to the instant classic Rose Bowl game as Michigan defeats Alabama 27-20 to head to the national championship. Also going to be going over what coaches and players said post-game, and also a little preview on the national championship matchup between Michigan and Washington. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, our Michigan Wolverines are headed to the national championship to take on Washington after an instant classic overtime Rose Bowl win against Alabama as they beat them 27-20. What a game. Game certainly lived up to the hype. People said that it was going to be an instant classic, and it surely was. It did not look good there late in the game for Michigan in the fourth quarter, but this team rallied back and made some clutch plays when it mattered most. Both these teams, Alabama and Michigan, they had their mistakes. For Michigan, it was mainly special teams. They muffed a punt early in the game as freshman Samaj Morgan muffed it, and then Alabama went ahead to score the first touchdown of the game. McCarthy also got very lucky that interception to start the game got overturned as the defender never reestablished. They got very fortunate there, and early in the game it just seemed like Michigan, the past 2 years in the CFP, they just did not come to play. They made multiple mistakes and it was looking like it again, but this team overcame their mistakes, and like I said, most of them was on special teams. There was a bad snap on an extra point as Michigan went up 13-7, which really could have cost Michigan the game. James Turner also missed a 49-yard field goal, which would have been huge, and then Jake Thaw at the end of the game, fair catching a punt, muffed it, almost got a safety, which would have ended the game and Alabama would have won. That would have been a terrible way to go out. So just very, very fortunate. But Michigan, they had one turnover, which was the muffed punt from Samaj Morgan. And then Alabama, Jalen Milroe lost a fumble. Michigan, however, was unable to get away with points after that. And then multiple times in the game, Alabama center just had some bad snaps, especially two of them on, the one drive in the third quarter. Alabama, they were driving, and that just completely stopped that drive. But listen, Michigan did a phenomenal job when they got in the red zone. They made sure they got touchdowns and didn't settle for field goals. Jim Hardball, Jesse Minter, and Sharon Moore, they all out-coached Nick Saban. Jesse Minter called a phenomenal game. This Michigan defense, this pass rush was insane. They had 6 sacks. And Michigan's defense ultimately kept the Michigan Wolverines in this game. Michael Barrett had 1 sack, Josiah Stewart had 1 sack, Braden McGregor had 2 sacks, and Chris Jenkins and Derek Moore each had a sack. Michigan also had 10 tackle for losses. Junior Colson had 10 total tackles, Michael Barrett with 9 total tackles, Josiah Stewart with 7 total tackles. And the defense, they were just outstanding all game long. Michigan outgained Alabama in total yards, 351-288. Michigan had 221 passing yards, 130 rushing yards. And J.J. McCarthy, we had some missed throws, also some dropped balls by the receivers, but he had a great game. He went 17 for 27, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he also had a quarterback rating of 91.9. On the other side, Jalen Milroe struggled. He had a quarterback rating of 45.1, and he went 16 of 23 for 116 yards. Michigan's pass rush was getting all over him and was causing him fits. And coming into the game, a lot of people thought, that Isaiah Bond, Jermaine Burton, and these receivers for Alabama, they were going to get some explosive plays, but it never happened. Michigan's defense played outstanding. But like I said earlier in the video, it was not looking good for Michigan. They were down 20-13 with about 4 minutes to go. They needed a money drive. In the whole second half, the offense was just unable to do anything. They had no points up to that point in the game. but JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum, Roman Wilson, the Michigan Stars came through in a clutch drive, and Sharon Moore, he was scheming up great plays, especially on the 4th and 2 and the Roman Wilson touchdown to go ahead and tie the game. And it was Michigan's defense getting a stop. Luckily, Jake Thaw, didn't get a safety. Almost did, and that would have been brutal to lose that way, but we went to overtime, and Blake Corum put the team on his back. 2 plays and a touchdown. He had 19 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. He also had 2 receptions for 35 yards and a receiving touchdown, and he is now Michigan's all-time career rushing touchdown leader with that overtime touchdown to put Michigan on top with 56. He has left his legacy here in Michigan, but there's one more game to go and the job is not finished. And then it was the defense that stepped up, stopped Alabama on 4th and goal on a Jalen Milroe quarterback draw. Josiah Stewart really made the play, pushing back the Alabama offensive lineman, tripping up Jalen Milroe, and that is how Michigan got their first CFP semifinal win and is now heading to Houston to play in the national championship. It is a great time to be a Michigan Wolverine. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this game in the comment section and just how crazy you were going when Michigan finally got that 4th and goal stop and advanced to the national championship. And I want to talk about what some Michigan coaches and players said post-game. Blake Corum on the win, he said it was a team effort. We're going to deal with adversity here. We had some adversity today, a little sloppy, but we came together as one. And he said, I know my brothers had my back, and I told them if we score this thing and go to overtime, we're going to win. And we came out on top, and I'll see you in Houston. Also talked about Roman Wilson as he got flagged for that block in the back, but he said Roman, previously had a mistake, and he said, I promise I'm going to make a play. And he said that's what Roman did. It was an outstanding catch. The ball was tipped, and it was just in the reach where Roman Wilson could grab it, which then put Michigan in business at the 5. JJ McCarthy also talked about, promising that Michigan would get back here in the playoffs, and he said, the fight started week 1. Everything we've been through, all the adversity, it's a team that goes through that adversity that can't get to the heights we're trying to reach. I feel like we just did a tremendous job of responding to all that and pushing through, and we've got one more game left, so the job is not finished. Also talking about the emotions and how he was feeling. He said it's indescribable just because of the last 2 years being able to watch the opposing team celebrate. It's just different when I see the maize and blue confetti on the field. Jim Hardball post-game said it was a glorious game. Also congratulated Alabama on a terrific game and a terrific season. He also said, it's just the way this team depth is built and how connected they are as players and we are as a team. He said it's almost been an unfair advantage. All the things that the team has gone through, we don't care anymore. Don't care what people say. Don't care about anything that comes up. We just know we're going to overcome it because it's unanimous support from every single guy on the team. He said, this team, they train so hard, like Junior said, Junior Colson. Hardball said, they practice so hard, they play so hard, and it's their individual mental toughness that gets them through. Also talked about, Tom Brady being the GOAT, but he also said that in a college career, there's nobody at Michigan better than JJ. I know we talk an amalgamation of quarterbacks. He is that guy. But now it is undefeated versus undefeated, number 1 versus number 2, Michigan versus Washington in the national championship at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time in Houston, Texas. According to ESPN's matchup predictor, Michigan has a 74.3% chance to win, and opening up the spread is Michigan by 4.5. Over under is 55.5. But what a game. What a CFP semifinals. Both games came down to the final play. I think that's the first time ever in the CFP semifinals where both games come down to the final play. But Michigan prevails, winning it 27-20 in an instant classic to win the Rose Bowl over Alabama. And they will play Washington in the national championship next Monday night. Other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.